Rika! As he runs through a forest, Yuta comes to a stop as a massive curse like to a panther, just far more grotesque, would attack. But from behind Yuta, Rika's massive hand reaches out and swats the curse down and holds it in place, which allows Yuta to envelop his blade with cursed energy and stab into its brain. The curse has been beaten. The beast then pixelizes to nothing and Yuta falls as Rika's armor retracts, and Yuta finds himself with more money and a potion before him from his extermination of the curse. I don't know why I'm trying to make this so weird. Anyway, leaning down, he taps it and it disappears to Yuji's inventory so he can retrieve it later, because as people who are only part of the party, they can't really have the same benefits. It's just not how it works. Okay, not bad for the first week. As he gets up and begins to run again, he hears others battling and the sound of leveling up. And this is currently Yuta Okotu's level and status. He's level 15. He has the title of a Jujutsu apprentice because he's not really a student for real yet. He is a species of human, obviously, even as monstrous as he is. MP is at 203. HP is at 367. Strength is at 20. Agility at 26. Intelligence at 23. Stamina at 15. Wisdom at 9. Luck 19. Points 20. But he has a certain status abnormality, which is curse bound. This is due to his binding vow with Rika. It kind of limits him in a way, but he's getting better. As for skills, he has partial summon, active, level 10, and a skill just called Rika, level 9, and swordsmanship, active, 15. On the night of the parade, demons soon begin to roam Tokyo, Kyoto, and Shinjuku as foretold. The Holy Lands Jujutsu are evacuated, allowing sorcerers to set up for battle, and they are much more prepared. They spread out and make sure to stick with the groups they are best suited to defeat curses with, and this is when Yuji comes into the picture. Or you? As she turns her head, currently stationed in Kyoto, Mai sees Yuji flying in down towards her, and he lands. I have a name, you know. I don't care. You earned the marksman skill, right? You do have it? Yeah, it's level 6. Why? Good, take this. From his inventory, he brings out a gun, but it definitely wasn't normal. Though it looked like a basic 9mm, it was radiating cursed energy, as Yuji mentioned that it reloaded 20 bullets in seconds. Well, it reloads a bullet every time you fire one in 5 seconds. It should be fine. Don't die. With the turn, he starts to run and takes flight when Mai will shout, "You really are a softie, aren't you? Shut up and don't die." He then blasts off and she's just left chuckling. Now, before the war really begins, I'd like to mention that everyone has evolved their technique like how a skill evolves in video games, meaning that Mai actually has enough cursed energy to make more things than just bullets. She's very strong now. Kamo's innate technique unlocked a skill called bloodletting. This regenerates his blood supply faster than most. Toto doesn't even need to clap to switch places with things now, he just has to think the word switch. And Miwa is turning into a beast as she can now neutralize techniques on the level of a first grade sorcerer. Many things have changed. Moments pass and curses begin to roam these cities. Sorcerers go into action and begin to battle for their lives. Yuji himself is in Tokyo, which he flew back to, and he was dominating. Fenrir. As his spirit forms, it roars down the street to an approaching horde of curses, some of which even fly towards them, and he reverberates a cold chill that he then gathers back before Yuji, and the summoner would pull back and with a full swing push it back towards the monsters, who were met by a light breeze, however, that they easily break through. This leaves Fenrir saddened, as he's not strong enough yet. It's okay, buddy. Let's level you up, shall we? Nodding aggressively, it flies along Yuji, and instead of going for long-range attacks that are spread out, which it's not really good at yet, it just creates icicles that his master reinforces with cursed energy and blasts through a curse. He then flies through the hole he made and turns, and he finds himself in the center of the horde. Do it! The beast would fire more icicles that are then controlled by Yuji to increase in speed and pierce even more of them, while he also uses his wind element, and this raises proficiency by 1.1. There we go, said Yuji. Again, the beast would growl in agreement, and for the record, Yuji's own use of ice is far stronger than the current summon, but once it is world class, it will become the element itself incarnate. So for now, he's training himself and also trying to level the beast up. It's not really easy. The system has to be kind of balanced since he's practically broken already, but after all, he's the gamer, and there's nothing he enjoys more than a good play. He will be doing this a lot. Landing, he crushes and splatters a curse to nothing and covers himself with blood as we pan up above and see a wave of flames surge from below and melt the beast indiscriminately. But it leaves the buildings unharmed before Yuji blasts the sky, and while revolving along with Fenrir, he has him fire icicle after icicle to kill more and more. Meanwhile, at Jujutsu Tech, why would you do this? Any of this? As he was the object of Geto's affection for starting this war, Yuta was left at Jujutsu Tech this time again, but he was alone. There was no guards around. Well, there were like basic guards, but he was basically by himself. Since he was stronger, they trusted him to be a little bit prepared if curses show up. But Geto's plan is the same, to fight and kill Yuta Okotu and take Rika Orimoto. You're stronger than before, so I imagine Rika is the same. He summons a curse in the air and pulls from its mouth the playful cloud 3-section staff. Yuta meanwhile brandished the game item, and this blade ironically had the ability called threefold. 3-section staff. It's kind of funny. Like most enchanted items in RPG or games, Yuta picked it up and essentially, even if he hits you once, the same strike will hit the enemy 3 times, meaning that he can strike you and stack attacks onto you 3 times fold. And he would strike, imbuing his sword with cursed energy. Lunging at one another, they met with a clash, and they're both aggressively pushed back, much to the surprise of Geto, as Yuta in a flash moves and swings down at him, and he blocks. The effect of the item is applied this time, however, as Yuta yells, "Activate!" The consecutive 3 strikes are compacted into one as he's brought to his knees and is kicked in the face, but centipede curses erupt, wrapping around his leg and biting into his skin. As he screams, he's then struck in the stomach and sent flying while he spews blood. Geto then chases after him and slams the playful cloud into his stomach. As he hits the floor, he bounces back up and is hit in the ribs as he barely manages to block and shouts, "Rika!" As he tumbles to the floor and rolls away, the massive arm of Rika reaches out from the dark void and swats at Geto's body. He has Squids restrain the arm, but she breaks out just as Yuta would run up and swing down, yelling again, "Activate!" While he gathers cursed energy into the blade, he does a crescent slash, and Geto ducks as the wall to his left is broken to rubble, and continues down like this for about, let's say, 10 yards at least. Not bad. Yuta readies his sword again, however, and both of them feel some new people arriving and look up, finding a crack put in the veil that Geto has set up. This brings a smile to Yuta's face. The battle started to get harder at Tokyo, and many sorcerers were having some trouble. Though not as much as the original, 2 weeks isn't enough to raise their level by that much. But that's when she made an appearance. Oi, move it. Moving her way through the sorcerers too scared to advance, Maki analyzed the situation and found many first-grade curses present, and some crawling on the walls. She doesn't even have cursed energy. What's gonna happen to us? We're gonna die? With her next step, Maki disappeared and crashed alongside a building and slashed through her curse's neck and continued to run along on the building while building momentum, taking off head after head before jumping and catching herself on a lamppost and then throwing the weapon through the head of a massive moat curse that erupts from the cement road. She then landed and made her way for her weapon when from above an insect curse aimed at her head with a stinger. But ducking forward, she jumped into a backflip and bashed her foot into its head. But she was then swarmed by a whole horde of them. Regardless, she broke out in advance while they attacked and she killed them off with a knife hand. It was as if her body was a weapon in itself, and while bathed in the fading blood of these curses, she reached her weapon and swung it out from the ground and jumped into the fray once again. Everyone present regarded her as almost majestic, an anomaly with no cursed energy at all, and yet she could see curses without cursed tools to help and fight with Herculean strength. She doesn't even wear her glasses anymore, by the way. She's already at that level. And this rose their spirits, and they attacked the curses with her. So, let's see her status real quick. You know how it is. Maki Zenin, level 28. Her title is still Shame of the Zenin, but that will change later. She is the age of 15. Yeah, 15. Species human. MP is negative 20. And HP is 300, strength is 50, agility is 50, intelligence is 30, stamina is 43 because she's busted, wisdom is 2, she needs a little bit more help in that area, luck is 15, and she has 34 leftover points, and she also has a status abnormality of heavenly restriction. Now for her skills, she has 3 of them. Steel body, which is passive, literally makes her skin turn into steel, and it's at level 4. Hypersense, which is the enhanced senses of someone with her heavenly restriction type thing, that's at level 2. Regeneration, obviously her body heals faster than most, and is passive at level 1 currently. From afar, Yuji was facing his own troubles when Gojo then ran to him. "You need to leave now." Bashing out the brains of a curse, Yuji turned. "What is it?" He pulls Yuji aside and explains the situation that he already did to Panda Inumaki, and he had him stand still as he drew a sealing mark around him. "I'm leaving them in your hands." "What about Maki-senpai?" "I'll leave her be. This is her chance to grow. Good luck." He claps his hands together and the ground flattens as Yuji disappears. He instantly finds himself falling towards the broken part of the veil and flies in when his observation skill picks up the awakening of Rika. "Alright, hide it. Hide it." He pulls in his very aura and presence and lets himself fall until he crashes and rushes forward and past many walls. He sees that there has been a lot of damage. He then runs and jumps on the roof, perching over one of them. "Damn, that's really Yuta-senpai?" He watches as he charges Geto and completely overpowers him in terms of pure power and cursed energy, and he now has Rika helping him. While they were distracted in battle, Yuji, who was still trying to hide his presence, searches for and finds Panda and Inumaki at a balcony Yuta put them on, and he swings down and lands there. Skill sneaking has been learned. Seriously? This system makes no sense sometimes. Getting closer, he finds that they've been healed by reverse curse technique, and he then looks to Yuta and checks his status. "Okay, yeah, he'll be fine." Yuta Okotsu, level 15. Title, Jujutsu Apprentice. Age, 15. Species, human. MP is now 1000. HP is 234. And strength is 20 plus 10 because of his added boost in just rising in anger. Agility is 26 plus 30. Intelligence is 23. Stamina is 17. Wisdom is 9. Luck is 19. He has 20 leftover points and is still bound by a curse, which is his status abnormality. His partial summon is level 12 now. Rika, the skill literally called Rika, is level 12. Swordsmanship is 15. But just in case, Yuta-senpai. As he cuts away at a curse, he stops and lands on a lamppost where he sees Yuji, who signals something. Geto notices him and clicks his tongue when Yuta then says, "Status." Now that Yuji was within range, he could actually see his status, as this is how it works, because that's why Maki asked previously why Yuji was going to leave if she was going to go fight in the dungeons, because then she would be able to change her stats. Yuji has to be in close proximity for you to see this, or you have to be within one of his barriers. His stats were shown to him, and he sees his leftover points. He also notices Geto firing more curses his way, and begins to press as he puts everything into intelligence, until he summons a megaphone to his side by using Rika. Geto holds onto his ear in complete shock. Amazing. This only proves it more. Rika Orimoto is a curse filled with boundless cursed energy. Just then, however, Yuji jumps before the sorcerer, and Yuta asks, "Izudori, I wanted to handle this." "Oh, I'm sure you could, but since Rika is finally out and you can talk, I think it's time you guys talk, don't you?" He slowly turned to her, and she cackled, and he looked to Yuji, who squares up. "Leave this psycho to me." "Well, that's not really fair. As a fellow special grade, let me show you the ropes." Moving in a blink, however, Yuji decks him across the face. He wasn't this strong before. Or maybe he was? He's sent flying into the air, and Yuji appears above him, hammering into the floor with both hands. Geto crashes and releases massive worms his way, which are met by Yuji's fists as he would riddle them with attacks, and the shockwaves of his impact carries through each of their bodies, as wind would tear through forcefully down and take the shape of blades before they're turned to complete mush. He appears right by before Geto and blows away the dust, and he sees that the curses from top to bottom are shredded like paper, and they explode. Yuta had almost forgotten, so he worried for Yuji just because he himself was struggling against Geto at first. As an organism, he felt Yuji was on another level. "Rika, I don't know, but I have a feeling you didn't have any part in this. My friends are fighting for me, so are you, but I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any of you." Rika, however, expresses that she wanted to stay with Yuta, and Yuta says he knows. "I never said it was your fault, so I have to pay." What the hell is he? With his next blow, Yuji bashes in the special grade sorcerer's skull with a drop kick, and while falling, he spins mid-air and strikes with another kick and cracks his ribs while he bashes through a 6-foot thick wall. He rolls onto the floor and stops himself. He's gazing at the sky. How can you be so merciful to these monkeys? Those little bastards. How does someone so strong allow for such an existence? As he makes his way through the wall, Yuji says, because I'm also a monkey, I guess. Are you trying to ruin the meaning of that word? You're the farthest thing from them. As he struggles to get up, Yuji says, you're gonna die here, Geto-senpai. Last chance to change your mind. Ha. What? You called me senpai. As he holds his hands forward, he begins to gather in his hands frost and pure cold energy that falls below the negatives. Geto begins to see his own breath as the area freezes over slowly, and he himself begins to gather all remaining curses he has for one final attack. Uzumaki, Ice Age. Both attacks fire, and as they beam forward, Yuji's ice ray would freeze the very cursed energy of Geto's attack and the curses contained within it before then quickly reaching the senpai. Behind him, a trail of ice spreads a mile and beyond and past the roads to the ones aside. Last chance. You already said that. Thank you. For what? Not holding back. Tell Satoru. You're not even cursing him at the end of all this? I'll remember you. Not that it means much. Slowly a smile creeps on Geto's face until his heart would shatter. He falls forward smiling, and his body stops working completely. The Uzumaki is shattered as it is all turned to ice, and all the ice around turns into frost. It fades into the air. Yuji is left with a somber look as he walks through the fading element, and on the other side he sees Yuta and a child. Yuta, Yuji! The two would then turn and see Panda, Inumaki, and Maki running over. Yuji says, "You're late." "Hey, give us a little break. We almost died," shouts Panda. "Not on my watch." "How was it?" As he looks to Maki with a smirk, she simply says, "Shut up." Bonito flakes. "Yeah, and who's that?" asks Panda actually. You didn't just bring a kid to help you fight, did you?" "Well, she's Rika, and I made a promise with her that we'd be together forever. But she said no." "Oh my god, it was all me. It was all me." As he breaks out in tears, Yuta collapses onto the floor. "All these people are dead because of me. What did I do?" Maki steps forward to help him, but Inumaki stops her. Hugging him by the head, Rika, however, says that she's forgiven him. "I was happier all this time than I was when I was alive, so thank you, Yuta." "She's lying," thinks Yuji. "But he doesn't need the truth right now. He needs clarity. I can see why he loves you so much." Rika begins to fracture, return to the afterlife where she should have been all along. Her remains as a spirit take the form of the very same bubbles he and her blew out as kids while they were having fun. But don't come over to this side too early, alright? Uh-huh. Goodbye, Yuta. Rika Orimoto has left Yuta Okotu a gift. Yuji, seeing this message pop up, sighs. Seriously, how much does she love this guy? That was the day that this battle came to an end. Yuji passed on Geto's words, and every single one left the strongest sorcerer with a melancholy laugh. A few months later. "We're really distant cousins, huh?" "Yep, Sugawara no Michizane. Doesn't really mean much now, but it explains your insane reserves of cursed energy. Where did Ichidori go, by the way?" "He's otherwise preoccupied with the higher-ups." "What, the same guys who wanted to kill me?" "Well, I don't really blame them still for that, but nothing I can do about it now," says Gojo. "At least he told me this time." "This time?" "Oh yeah, he barged into their quarters once, told them off. 10 years old. You should have seen them. They were speechless." "Yeah, I bet." "Oh, hey guys. Hurry up, we were waiting forever. And where the hell is Yuji?" Clenching onto his collar, Yuji's expression shows both relief and happiness, as we still find that very same ring on his finger. You want a what? You heard me, old man. Standing amidst the elders, Yuji is literally in the spotlight as he says, "You will send every sorcerer you can find and or who participated in the war and admit them into Jujutsu Tech. I want them under the charge of Principal Gakuganji and Yaga-sensei." "You mean under your command," said another voice. "You can't fool us, child." "Let's say I wanted them personally. You're gonna do it anyway, because I nurture talents and bring out new ones. That's why I'm the nurturer. So we're gonna stand here all goddamn day, or you're gonna start properly thinking with your heads." Now we have a massive ass time skip. This is when the real story begins. "It's not here." "Wait, seriously?" asked Gojo. "That's hilarious." "Wait, Fushiguro, it's likely that students took it. Just be patient," said Hidatori. "And take this serious, Satoru. It's Gojo sensei to you." As the call that he's on cuts out, Fushiguro with a sigh will look to the sky, and we watch as the sun moves according to its preset movements. Sun rises, falls, and it leads to Fushiguro returning as we see him jump the gates of the school. While he falls, he holds the sign of Nue, and he sprouts wings himself alike to the creature and catches himself before taking off towards part of the school establishment. Now I'm going to list a few of his skills. Obviously, he has the 10 Shadows technique, and it is an active skill at level 40, and he has sub-skills under this. The Endless Wells Abyss, which is at level 20, is an active skill, and Grant, an active skill at level 17. This is the skill that lets him literally use the abilities of his Shikigami. Soon he unsummons the wings and crashes through a window as he kickflips off the ceiling and begins to fall when he finds a curse trying to eat 2 students along with Sukuna's finger. Landing, however, he quickly moves and grabs them out of there before kicking off a wall and landing down a hall. The curse snarls at him instantly and begins to advance, but he holds his pointer finger forward and releases a flickering stream of powerful electricity. This would blow it to complete smithereens, and Fushiguro would just sigh. Leaning down, he picks up a finger and puts it in his pocket and picks up the 2 students. He does so quite easily and begins to walk off when he suddenly felt something was off. The hand of a curse shows itself as it phases through the ceiling. Max Elephant. From his shadow would sprout the gigantic and much more ferocious elephant, which seemed more alike to a mammoth as it easily tanks the fall of the curse and throws it to the walls. It's sent tumbling, and Megumi just walks off and pulls his summon into a shadow again, and he summons another one, Charging Bull. His shadow would flicker as it takes a turn, literally slings out. It moves, like literally moves, and it directs a line out of the window and then towards the freaking roof where the curse had fell to. It spews out a bull. This bull runs and runs, gathering great momentum just as the curse sits up, and it is charged through from its head all the way down, with the bull coming out its other end and coming to a stop. This is the level that Megumi is at now. That and the fact that gaming world logic applied to him means that the shadow summons would literally not need to be summoned by hand signs anymore. He just needs to call out their names. The summon then sinks back into its own shadow that then slings back to Megumi's, and we see him turn a corner. Sometimes I can't stand him, he thinks to himself. Luckily, the 2 kids were unharmed and were given to a hospital as Megumi still cannot use reverse curse technique. That is still only possible for those who have to actually grasp it, who are talented enough. But now it's not as needed because potions exist, and guess who has monopoly on them? Yuji. As he turns, Yuji finds himself in the courtyard. Around him are practicing students, and approaching him is Yaga. "Yeah, just keep working on that one movement and you'll gain the skill. Promise." "Yes, sensei?" "Walk with me." As he does, Yaga says that he has finally found a new member he can add to he and Megumi's duo. Mostly because you keep rejecting them. They're just not that likable. The truth hurts. "Who is he?" "She's named Kugisaki Nobara. I think you'll get along well." That's all you call me for?" "Well, yes, I also took that on my day to give you a break. Don't sound too happy or anything." "Sorry." "Yeah, well, you wouldn't notice. But everyone needs a break, even you." They continue on a walk for a bit, just talk. Yuji and Yaga are actually kindred spirits as they both have bizarre hobbies and they like each other's sense of humor, which is mostly hard to comprehend as they're both so stoic, so it sounds almost like they're threatening each other, but they're not. They just have that kind of relationship. Now we go to Morioka Station. It is the next day. So she's supposed to be here, said Fushiguro. See anything? Not yet. I'm not really rushing. I was thinking of going dungeon hunting. How do you never get tired of that? I'm the gamer. It's kind of my nature, isn't it? Either that or you're insane. That's never been in question, says Yuji. There she is. As he walks forward, Fushiguro follows and they bump their way past some people and get to the other side of the road. Kugisaki Nobara asks Fushiguro. As she turns, she lets go of the manager she was basically harassing to become a model. Kugisaki be mad devious sometimes. And she sees the two. The man runs away and she scoffs. That's me. Moments later, she's walking with them and says, Oi, I'm gonna put my stuff down. Did you hear me? I know. That's why we said wait, says Megumi. We're too busy. Yuji turns into an alleyway and they follow as Kugisaki groans. Seriously? We're already exercising stuff? Are you serious? What? She sees Yuji's hand stretched out and says, Your bag. I can't use my technique in front of people. As she hands it to him, she watches it literally be put into the air and just vanish. What the? Convenient technique you got there, but my tools were in there. That's fine, we're not exercising anything, says Fushiguro. We're giving you a tour of Tokyo. Oh. Uh-huh. We really suck at this, don't we, says Yuji. Not really, no, yeah, we do. I was thinking of checking out the mall, says Fushiguro. This better not be a setup, she says. Mall it is. Be happy, boys. Things are gonna be way more fun with me around. Come on. She turns and walks out, and Yuji says, She's not half bad. I can hear you. Okay, coming out. And I'm not taking that statement back, says Yuji. So, they had a bit of fun. Both Yuji and Megumi are loaded because of the dungeons anyway, so things are on the cheap side, and most things are just really easy to get now. Mostly for Yuji. Megumi doesn't really go to dungeon hunting as much as Yuji does, and Kugisaki ends up inquiring about this. You know, I heard this from my grandma that anyone who comes to Jujutsu Tech becomes, like, super strong. Oh, she must be very knowledgeable, says Fushiguro. Oh, she was. But even she couldn't prepare me for this shit. Where the hell are we? As she stands atop a cliff, Kugisaki finds herself before something she can only describe as fantasy. She saw floating islands, pillars of light rising to the sky, all encompassed in a world filled with fear and horror, as the monsters that she was supposed to face in this dungeon awaiting them in the forest down below. There were even seas full with them, like there was so much more. It was a grade 1 hunting ground. I decided to name it Elysia, says Yuji. Yeah, good idea, says Kugisaki. So you're basically a game character. In a way, yeah, I obviously have flesh, blood, and all that, but my body reacts to phenomenon and damage like a game character. Regardless, this is your lesson for today. Grade 1s. I'm barely... Fine. For some reason, I can't stand falling behind you two. Sorry, says Fushiguro. Don't apologize, damn it. I'm gonna do this. Now, let's go. Now we go to the Zenin compound. It has already been about, let's say 2 months. Actually, let's not say 2 months. Let's say about like a day right after Yuji and the others went to hang out. And this is during the same day. At the Zenin compound, Naoya asks, so this is who we are now? I mean, we're the Zenin. Why are we listening to them? Staring down his son, Nabito sighs. Get the hell out of my chambers. Clearly you don't understand a thing. Whatever. Playing second fiddle to those twins. That's not how it's supposed to be. The father of Naoya only gets more irritated by the day. One, because Naoya is so stupid he doesn't understand the current state of Jujutsu society, and because his brother's children are getting stronger than his own. Maki had a long surpassed Naoya, and Maya was slowly but surely reaching this level as well. We see her bludgeon her fist through the head of her curse as Maki would bust his head open as it slams to the floor. Oh, hey, Ma, you done yet? Maki, in an abandoned neighborhood which was meant to be reconstructed, came here on a mission. And from a window high up, Maya just leaps out and Maki moves swiftly, catching her. Can you stop doing that? I'm not always gonna be here to catch you. Yeah, you are. And I always get what I want. Now you can let me down. Shut up. Not a chance. Maki Zenin, level 54, title Bloodbringer. Also a Valkyrie, because I thought that was cool. Now she's age 17, species human, even that's hard to believe. MP is negative 1,432. HP is 30,000. Strength is 240. Agility is 233. Intelligence is 300. Stamina is 260. Wisdom is 25. And luck is 75. She has 0 leftover points and still has a status abnormality of Heavenly Restriction. Now her skills, Steel Body, which is passive still, is level 50, let's say 52. Hypersense is 48. Regeneration is level 70. She's really been putting herself through the ringer to let this actually grow. She has Spear Mastery at level 10 and Swordsmanship at 24. And she has 1 million yen in cash in her inventory. Mai Zenin, level 36, title Gunslinger. It's her only title. Age 17, species human, all that. Her MP is at 500. Let's say HP is 15,000. Strength 150. Agility 175. Intelligence 300. Stamina 99. Wisdom 25. And luck 22. She has 15 leftover points and also has a Heavenly Restriction status abnormality. Skills. Gunslinger, that's actually a thing, it's her skill translates to her title. It's active at level 23. She's just mad freaking good with a gun, like all types of gun. And recovery, passive, level 13. This is recovery, talking about recovery of cursed energy. And most sorcerers who are strong enough and get leveled up from the dungeons have this. Her creation, which is her technique, is at level 44. And she has an active skill called Curse Shot, level 32. She literally can curve bullets. She has a homing shot skill, and it is level 30. And cursed energy control, and it is level 21. Let's say that for now. She has 300,000 yen, and Maki is special grade. Mai is grade 1, an assessment for supreme grade 1. The two will then strut their way out of the set veil and meet Ijichi waiting for them outside. Great work, you two. Sorry this is all we could find on such short notice. No worries, I just want to go home and sleep, says Mai. Coming with? Not today, I'm going dungeon hunting, says Maki. You always do that. Let's go to the mall or something. I thought you were gonna sleep. Fine, go, see if I care. Let's go, Mr. Ijichi. Maki won't need the car, she'll run. Now, girls, do not start this again. I'm not doing anything, says Mai. See ya. In a step, Maki disappears from sight, and Mai steps into the car as Ijichi sighs, saying, they really just can't be honest with one another, can they? Siblings. Back at Jujutsu Tech, Kugisaki exits Alicia and sees a massive building made by Yuji himself. Yuji and Fushiguro would then exit as well, and Kugisaki says, this is just, it's trippy. Yep, it's disguised by a veil on top of the dungeons to give the appearance of a normal building, says Yuji. Why? As he calls for the system with the wave of his hand, he goes to his settings and turns off the disguise. This transforms the building into an establishment broken to pieces and yet still together, held together by game logic. It's so hard to even describe. It doesn't make sense, so it can mess with people's heads. Yeah, turn it back now. Oh, my head, what is that? The dungeon is then redisguised and Yuji begins to walk off, saying to check her status, and she does so. So I can basically create my own attacks, right? By doing a continuous motion or movement, the system grants you one, but it's only possible when you're partied up. Then I'll just always be in this party. You can't, says Fushiguro. Why? Balance. The system automatically cuts you off when you go an hour without hunting, and I'll have to re-add you, and you have to be in my vicinity. That's fair. I mean, it's your technique. I'm surprised you're sharing it at all, honestly. Of course I would. It means being me. Oh, so we're bragging now, says Fushiguro. Don't start. Yeah, I sense a bit of ego in there, says Kugisaki. Okay, no dungeon hunting for a week then. What? That's sacrilege. Say it's not so funny now, is it? As they catch up, Kugisaki says, seriously though, you're joking, right? I found the perfect spot to sunbathe on that floating island thing. We could have a beach day, says Yuji. Invite everybody. And then fight for our lives every few minutes. That part is basically covered with curses. Obviously, that's going to be way less fun. Wow, real enthusiasm there, Fushi girl. Well, he's not wrong, but there is a safety zone, says Yuji. Only problem is, you'll have to clear the dungeon, and I can't because my level's too high. Then game on, but not today. I'm still trying to understand just everything, says Kugisaki. Fair enough. Lunch? Asks Fushi girl. Lunch, says Yuji. And so they go off and have some lunch. And it's very obvious to see that despite years of trauma, Yuji still connects to his friends the same way, if not more, because he understands the dark side of people. So he knows how to find the truly good parts of humanity. As for his trauma, I'll explain it later around the Shibuya incident. Why the hell are we in this place? Asked Jogo. He, Dagon, and Nanami take a seat across from Geto, but he has stitches on his head. They were in a restaurant. Oh, I like the ambiance, don't you? Get to the point. You're no fun. If you really want this goal of yours to come true, you need 4 things. To put Gojo Satoru out of commission, Roman Sukuna's cooperation, very hard. Sukuna. He's dead, damn it. No, he's split into multiple versions of himself in his own fingers. I made a vessel for him. It'll be fine. Who the hell would willingly listen to someone like... What am I saying? You did something disgusting, didn't you? No, the vessel is him, his mummified body. Let me worry about the details. And last, the remains of Genshin, the prison realm. You have it? Never mind pussyfooting around then. This Gojo Satoru, where is he? Jogo, you'll die if you face him. He'll be eating those words soon. Proportionate to Sukuna, how many fingers am I worth in strength then? Yato meets this with a smile as he goes to answer and says 9. Jogo begins to heat up, which literally lights everyone in the restaurant on fire. Wait a minute, what's the 4th thing we need? Asked Hanami. Oh yeah, I forgot the most important part. Itadori Yuji, the nurturer. If anything, he's the most dangerous. I really still don't know what his technique is. Swerving on the side of a mountain road, Yuji drives Gojo to a building. Night had fallen and they were going to make their schedule be as compact as possible. Gojo was very busy today, but then he said, stop the car. Yuji, surprised by this order, listens and slowly stops. Gojo exits and would then close the door behind. Go on ahead, I'll catch up. Why? Is this a prank? Just what kind of person do you think I am? From the top of the mountains, we see Jogo running along the slopes to catch up before leaping and crashing towards Gojo, who would easily dodge. And with Ichiji out of the way and safe, he can finally ask, who are you? As he cackled, we cut away from this scene. We go to Yuji, who was now asleep, having a great nap, but his senses warn him before his observation skill does, and he would turn, holding up to ready a fire attack, a revolving ball of flames at Gojo. Whoa there, calm down. Proficiency for skill rises by 25%. As he sees this, Yuji sighs and falls back into his bed and turns on his lamp. What? I need your help with something. Come on. It's interesting, I swear. Against his better judgment, Yuji gets out of bed and is then teleported to a lake. While he floats atop it, Gojo just drops Yuji, who freezes it as his feet make contact. I need to see its status. Sure thing. Jogo, meanwhile, after having stood back up, asks, who the hell's that brat? Your meat shield? I keep forgetting you're hiding your cursed energy. Well, I don't like to stand out like a certain someone. So what do you see? Asked Gojo. It's a pretty strong curse. And it's pretty intellectual, even has its own name. Jogo. How do you know my name? He doesn't seem strong. But that's all I see. Obviously, I know how strong he is, but my skill isn't high enough to... I've had enough of this. Are you two going to keep whispering to yourselves? Oh, sorry. Yuji's my informant. He's just filling me in on everything about you. He doesn't know much, but it's clear that you're in cahoots with someone. Alright, want to fly back home? I'm going to teleport you... In a flash, just then, however, Yuji finds Jogo's foot at his face, but he easily swats it down and sends out a pulse of cursed energy with a palm strike, which sends him flying. I thought he could use ice. What is that? Stopping himself with flames, he flies back down towards them while he activates his domain and traps them in his iron coffin mountain, and he crashes to the magma floor as lava erupts from every crack he creates, and then it all gathers and turns into solid before firing towards the two. Simple domain. A field expands around Yuji and Gojo, rendering the flames to ashes as they hit its radius almost instantly. What? He's not even using a hand sign? He's dangerous, maybe even more dangerous than Satoru. He was right. When it comes to Jujutsu, there are certain things that one just cannot absolutely, like, completely ignore. Like, for one, the use of hand signs. Even Megumi or others who benefit from leveling up need hand signs for certain things, but Yuji never ever uses them. If anything, they hamper and piss him off. Expand. As he raises his hand while saying this, Yuji's field would explode forward and completely destroy this field created by Jogo to nothing instantly. Yeah, that is not something I knew he could do, thinks Satoru. That's literally impossible. With a simple domain? From afar, Kenjaku and Hanami noticed this, but even Kenjaku doesn't really understand how Jogo was easily dispatched. Not because it's inconceivable, but because the cursed energy just became weird. Moving on the water, Yuji then brings a powerful uppercut to his stomach as he spews blood and is sent flying, and this time he turns out cold. Let him go. We'll have to deal with him and his group later. And together. Also, I'll fly back. Charmander. From his other summoning mark, fire forms and turns into a Chinese dragon 3 times his size and 3 times the length of its master, that then comes to be patted on the head while Yuji takes a seat on its back. Alright, let's go home. Charmander. What? It's my favorite one. See you tomorrow. Charmander then flies away in a blast while Gojo simply laughs and pulls himself away. Man, things are gonna get fun for sure. Now, returning to Yuji, we see him thinking about that curse. Disaster level curse. Just like my dungeon said years prior. This technique, the more and more I learn about it, the less it seems like a technique. It predicted our future adversaries. This would freak out anyone else if it wasn't so goddamn fun. A massive grin shows across his face as he looks forward to fighting these curses, or more specifically, what plan they have cooked up for them. But after this, everything is relatively the same. But Kugisaki does go from level 1 to 10 and then 26. And since she already had existing skills like everyone else, she levels them up. Like her Kanzashi and her Tomonari, both are past level 5, which already increases their attack potency by a lot, and also her advantage over the soul by a lot. I'll make her skill for that later. So this is her status. She's 15, obviously. Title, Girl of Steel. Level 26, species human. MP 99, HP 300, Strength 16, Agility 17, Intelligence 20, Stamina 27, Wisdom 2, Luck 11.0, and her Strala technique is at level 10. It's active. Kanzashi and Tomonari are both level 6. Hammer Strike, level 1, and she has a skill called Tenacity, level 2. Wow, even the status knows you have a temper, says Yuji. Watch it. Actually, what does your status look like? As he stretches, Yuji says, you don't want to know. By this point, everyone else is arriving for training. This includes the senpais, and Kugisaki had yet to meet them, but they were coming, and on their way towards the two, they see them. They hear Kugisaki just shout like she's seen a ghost. Ah, she saw his status, says Inumaki. That idiot, Maki says. Kugisaki finds that Yuji has so many skills and has leveled them up to such a ridiculous degree that he no longer feels human. But then she notices it. Half-blood? What's that? As she poses this question, she turns and sees the look of contemplation on Yuji's face. I'm part human, part curse, exactly 50-50. This obviously takes Kugisaki by surprise, as the idea of what Yuji's life must have been sounds horrific. Did it ever get easier? I wish. When you know what you are, in my case, well, when you know what you aren't, I guess it makes you feel almost whole. I'm not sad I was born the way I was. I'm happy to be alive at all. They take you for the optimistic type. You'd be surprised. Surprised by what? Asked Panda. Are you guys planning me a surprise? Don't just assume it's for you, said Maki. Did you see? Kugisaki nods but says that she's over it because Yuji, no matter what his status says, is more human than curse. Oh, I'm Kugisaki Nobara. Inumaki Toge. Panda here. Maki. Just Maki. Alright, let's do it then, says Yuji. Get out! As he shouts, his voice would ring with cursed energy and is amplified as all students currently sleeping in are forced awake. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's actually 5 a.m. in the morning right now. What's happening? Asked Kugisaki. Today we have to have everyone level up in a dungeon of their choice, says Megumi. He then gestures with his head for her to look behind, and she sees Yuji walk behind and crack the surface of the world itself to form 4 doors of darkness. And it's literally a door just of black, just standing there. By the way, his dungeon level, like his dungeon creation level, is 100. There is also 1 door for grade 1, one for special grade 1, and supreme grade 1. Just want to clarify that. See you guys, says Inumaki. I'll go with him, Panda remarks. Together they enter the grade 1 dungeon, which they're very close to surpassing. As for Maki, she heads to special grade 1 Megumi, Tokuisake to follow him, and they head for the grade 1 dungeon as well. And pretty soon, all students exit their dorm, and they all just enter grade 1. And on the scene arrives a woman wearing a biker helmet. Wow, I can't believe it's real. People always talk about it. Why are you here? She turns and sees Yuji and realizes that she barely felt his presence. She proceeded to take off her helmet. How'd you do that? With skill. I heard of you. Oh, I think everyone's heard of you more, kid. The sorcerer who gives, who shares, grows sorcerers. Can we talk? Holding his arm to the side, the sky above cracks and shatters, putting them into a new dungeon, an empty one, which has no monsters. Usually I come here to be alone. You can freely talk here. Sukuma looks about, amazed, as Yuji then walks past her and heads for a massive mountain forest ahead, and she turns. So, with your technique, I think you can make my dream come true, Itadori. And your dream is to extinguish all curses from the world. It's impossible, sorry. Oh, you didn't even listen to how it's maybe possible. You could at least heard me out. You think my technique could take away cursed energy from people and leave them like Maki-senpai. Just because I can help people level up doesn't mean I have control over their powers. But I want to do something else. Optimize cursed energy. These words haunt the sorcerer, who stops in her tracks, and Yuji turns asking, What? Nothing, you just sound very convinced. Look, if every single person, or at least more people, had control over their cursed energy, like us, there'd be less curses. But carnage might spread. Yeah, and you're the one who came to discuss the morality of power with a 15-year-old. Fair enough. This is a skill everyone eventually gains after a while in my party. The cursed energy control skill. It increases their hold over it, but for a normal person, it could be the start of their freedom. She's left stupefied that something like that specifically exists. If anything, Yuji holds in the palm of his hands the fate of humanity, almost like a god. I'll let you know when I do it. You're gonna start creating dungeons. Wait, normal people can't see them. That's because I set them to invisible. After all, everyone except Maki-senpai has cursed energy. Oh, you're insane. Again, you brought this up. I'm just letting you know what I've been planning for years. Alright, get out. I'm busy. Rude. Whatever. With a snap, he then brings them back to reality, and she finds some students already returning, and they're quite badly damaged. Wait, I saved up potions for this. A party member brings out a red flask that he opens and feeds one of his friends. Their injuries would heal in an instant, and he thanks him. Can I have one of those? Here. He throws her one and she catches his surprise. Thought you would have been a bit defensive about that. Just go, damn it. Thanks for the gift. Running off, she leaves the students confused as they look to Yuji, who says, Just don't think about it. You probably met the fly beasts today, huh? I put them into the system yesterday. Why? Yuji looks at everyone on the party of 5 and says, Because you're all getting arrogant, stagnant. Time to switch things up. Time skip. Alright, after so long, I'm going to tell y'all what Yuji's level is and what he has. So, he is level 250. He's still a half-blood. MP is, let's say, 100,000. Strength is 1,450. Agility, 1,899. Intelligence, 2,000. Stamina, 982. Wisdom, 1,300. Luck, 1,000. Skill, Gamer's Mind, and Gamer's Body, max level. These two skills have always been matched from the moment he got them, meaning that he literally just is not affected by trauma and physical trauma like everyone else. He's like a game character. Physical reduction skill is now max, like I said, so it's already advanced to a new level of skill, bypass, and that's, let's say, level 30. Dungeon creation is level 100 still. Thermal resistance to thermal fluctuation is now level 19. Cursed energy control has begun to turn to mana, and it has slowly started to change, and it is level 13. Domain expansion is an active skill, level 100. Barrier master, active skill, level 100. Beast summon, level 100. I'm going to change these skills names sometimes just to make it easier for myself. His frost beast, Fenrir, level 89. Charmander, level 67. And by the way, Fenrir is a higher class beast now, so it's about to become world class. Charmander is still, however, a little bit behind, but he also is higher class. He has a sneaking skill, which is passive level 95. He earned that when he was sneaking in, to interrupt the fight. He has QCQ, close quarters combat skill, and it is level 100. Basically, he's just the best hand-to-hand fighter of all time in his verse. Like, he will beat the crap out of you. Black Flash, active, level 70. Likely to hit Black Flashes at 70% of the time that the gamer tries. It's a broken-ass skill. He also has the skill Parry, which is level 40. And many, many, many more that I really do not want to get into right now. He has 0 points and 40 billion yen. Inventory is filled with like items, tools collected over, skill books, along with clothes and anything he ever needs. So he doesn't really use a closet. And as he's an actual user of the system. It's his curse technique. Yuji benefits far more. Literally any habit he ever has developed into a skill, and when performed frequently, and when used in dungeons, can literally turn them into full battling abilities, no matter how weak they are at first. He could just be good at cleaning up and then end up like be able to just, I don't know, freaking heal someone somehow. It makes no sense, but that's how it is. In the ruins of the curses that once were, Yuji was checking his status as they melted away and left behind some items. He was left dirty and with heavy breath. This is Calamity class, huh? Why do they always come in packs, damn it? Alright, escape dungeon. As he holds his hands to the sky, it shatters and returns him to the training field. What is this? Roaming a dark hall, we see Junpei Yoshino skip school today, and honestly, he's glad he did. It's almost like some dungeon, he says. Oh, someone entered, says Yuji. His system connects to a new player in a random dungeon that he left nearby the countryside. Junpei Yoshino, he has low stats, but he has potential. Not for some family, but he can somewhat see curses. Get off! Having met a slime, Junpei struggles to push it off as it is burning his skin, but just then a dagger drops from beside him. What? Never mind, just get off me. Grabbing the dagger, he would then notice the nucleus inside this creature and stab at it. And he stabs again and again and again until he finally reached it and turned it to ash before him. A message then pops up and it says that he leveled up right before showing his stats to him. He's level 2, MP of 10, HP of 10, Strength of 5, Agility of 7, Intelligence of 11, Stamina of 3, Wisdom 5, and -1 luck. God, I'm really that unlucky? New message. He sees the following. The administrator has sent him this message. The administrator says, "Welcome to the lowest dungeon. I built a return orb in your inventory, so if you don't want to continue on this path anymore, leave. But after these slimes, the real monsters will come for you. Curses." Junpei notices that it's actually like a chat, so he sees like a section for himself to write something to reply, and he asks if there are more of these dungeons in more places, but Yuji says that this is the only one. You're not special though. There are multiple people who can do things you can't even imagine. I'm one of them. I'm just trying to find potential. And who are you, real Junpei? Itadori Yuji. Until we meet, I'll be your administrator, but I'm just a jujutsu sorcerer, not some god. This is my power that's helping you level up. This is a power? What is this guy? This place? I want to keep exploring it. Inventory. As he calls for it, he sees an equitable uniform and presses it, and it equips him, just suddenly appears on his body, and it increases his stats. With this, he stands and replies to Yuji. Can you at least help me a little? I'm the administrator. Just ask and I'll help you anyway. Alright then, onward. Nice to meet you, by the way. Likewise, and just call me Itadori, not administrator. That's fucking weird. Yeah. So other benefits come with this, other than the cool powers. Money. Well, I'll pay you until you start to earn stuff yourself. The higher your luck is, the higher the drop rate of items is, says Junpei. That's crazy. Most people say that. Now pay attention. More incoming. The best way to beat slimes is just to thrust. With your equipment, you can do it. Just don't slack. As he advances, 3 slimes would run for him, and he blocks using the shield he has and then pushes it off before thrusting and bursting its core. Huh, I did it. He then blocks again and is pushed aside before raising and blocking and then striking. He does this over and over until he finishes the dungeon, and by that point he has reached level 10, which puts his stats in the double digits. When all is said and done, he has reached the end. The dungeon just begins to collapse around him, and Yuji told him to return to this exact place tomorrow. And this place was an abandoned parking lot, by the way, and he would just do a dungeon again. Check your inventory. I left you some rewards. See you tomorrow. Also, you're stronger than most people now, so just make sure to watch yourself. You could break someone's bones by using too much strength. This is Junpei's status now. He's level 10, obviously. He has 20 MP, HP 20, strength 15, agility 17, intelligence 21, stamina 13, wisdom 15, luck 10. He's out of the negatives, meaning that things will actually work out for him now. I mean, honestly, he has the worst luck, and he has 5 points left over. Yeah, what's the average level for normal people then? 5 or 4. Their stats are always below double digits, unless they're an athlete or something like that, but even then it's really hard to reach. Anyway, be careful, defend yourself, but never go too far. It's not worth it. The administrator then leaves. Huh. As he raises his foot, Junpei focuses and visualizes like Yuji has told him while he was in the dungeon, and begins to flow the power of cursed energy before stomping and cracking the cement beneath him. Holy crap. Okay, yeah, even I'm not that crazy. The next day, waking from his bed, Junpei has on a bright smile as he rolls out and runs out of his room past his mom. Morning. Yeah, what's got you so happy? As he runs into the bathroom, he says, oh, it's a wonderful day, isn't it? With a chuckle, she says to simply hurry up and go to school, but then he pops his head out. Oh, about that. Can we talk? Moments later, after his mother had made some breakfast, Junpei comes down and is in uniform, which he now hates more than anything ever. And he comes and takes a seat saying, I just don't want to go. I'm going to get into a fight if I have to go, alright? Fight? What have you been getting bullied? Instead of answering, he simply starts eating, and that tells her all she needs to know. Do you want me to come and talk to them, the school? Do you think it'll help? Those teachers told me nothing when I told them about the bullies. They said it's not possible because it's just boys messing around. Stay home for a while. I'll figure out something, but we don't have enough to switch schools. Hearing this, he lights up and stands saying, thanks, love you. He gives her a hug and then runs off. I gotta go meet up with a friend. Also, I have a job now. Job? What kind of job? It's kind of like a cleanup thing. Kanzashi. As cursed energy is discharged, the explosion would spread as with a radius of 15 meters. Panda is forced back, and he says, oh, that was way bigger. Did your skill level up? Probably. I'm not even out of cursed energy yet. How long have we been fighting for? She asked. Looking to Inumaki, he says, 30 minutes straight. What? That's crazy. Your MP definitely raised past 500. At that point, we can really expect you to start going off, said Panda. You mean like them? As he looks to Yuji, Kugisaki, and Fushiguro, they run their 30th, let's say 30th lap. They run their 30th lap and have been running the entire time, like sprinting. And while they're sweating, their posture and movements haven't slacked one bit. Stamina has risen by 1. This message is spammed to the 3 as they take a curve. Come on, 20 more minutes, said Yuji. I don't want to do that, said Kugisaki. It's more fun than it looks, said Inumaki. I mean, I'm not faster than Maki, but my stamina is. It all depends on how you train, how hard you train. I couldn't even speak until a few years ago. Kugisaki and Panda walks in. They're gonna take a break, and while she sits down, she asks why he can speak before. Usually, members of the Unumake clan can't really speak because our words might curse someone, but this system gave me a skill, allowed me to put everything away, all of the sigils that are used to activate it, and I can bring it back at will now. If I had his powers, I'm not even sure what I would do, thinks Kukisaki. Best not to think about it. What is the fate of Junpei now? How will the exchange go? Find out in the next part of Jujutsu Kaisen. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Peace. I'm gone.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget.